Bob Kane's 1939 creation of Batman has become a legacy that affects people every day. Bob Kane's legacy of Batman has become one of the greatest icons in American and world culture. Bob Kane grew up in New York. He constantly doodled to join a club called the Zorros, based on the Douglas Fairbanks character in the movie The Mark of Zorro. This movie and the characters within it would be an inspiration for Bob in his creation of Batman. After high school, Bob Kane started making comedy strips for multiple newspapers and magazines. He created such characters as Hiram Hick, Peter Pup, and Clip Carson. After bringing some drawings of a character called Flash Gordon to editor Vincent Sullivan of New York Comics, Bob went into the superhero business due to Vincent's compliments on his pictures. Vincent also mentioned they were looking for another superhero to accompany Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster's creation of Superman. Bob went home and borrowed some Leonardo da Vinci pictures that reminded him of bat wings and started to sketch. He used inspirations from Zorro and a movie called The Bat. He brought some of the crude sketches to Bill Finger, a writer of comics who criticized his character, saying it looked too much like Superman. Now the character at this time wore a red Union type of suit, black trunks, and a domino-shaped mask. He had a cape that looked like big stiff bat wings attached to his arms. Bob and Bill talked for hours and eventually decided to change the red to gray and make the mask more bat-like. They also let the cape flow instead of purely sticking out. And from that hard work came the figure close to the man, the myth, the icon we know today as Batman. Batman first appeared in Detective Comics number 27, May 1939, in a story called The Case of the Chemical Syndicate. Batman was an immediate hit. It took a few issues to establish the character, but eventually a basis of who the character was and his ideals was set. His origin is one of tragedy and is known by millions. When he was 9 years old, Bruce Wayne and his parents were walking home from seeing The Mask of Zorro when a thug robbed them and shot his parents right in front of his eyes. Afterwards, Bruce studied all types of science and trained his body to its physical peak. He traveled around the world learning all types of martial arts and even training his mind. Bruce realized he wasn't ready to fight crime. He needed something else, something to intimidate the criminals, something to strike fear into their hearts. And then the bat came crashing through his window, and he knew he had to become a Batman. In Detective Comics number 38, April 1940, another legendary character was introduced, Robin the Boy Wonder. Bob Kane wanted someone kids could identify with more, and since most of the major superheroes had sidekicks at that time, Robin was the perfect answer. Batman and Robin soon became the biggest team in comics. After a few years, any DC comics without Batman and Robin or Superman just couldn't compete sales-wise. Eventually, DC decided to put Batman in the newspaper, raising popularity immensely and bringing Batman to thousands of families around the world. Bob Kane, having to pencil the comics and the newspaper, decided to hand over some of the work to assistant Jerry Robinson, who then inked and colored backgrounds. The 60s came along, and Bob Kane left Batman, leaving the task up to Carmine Infantino to pencil the Batman comics from then on. Another big change was the release of the new TV show, Batman, starring Adam West as Batman and Burt Ward as Robin.
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Roger, ready to move out.
This popular TV show starred many villains such as Joker, played by Cesar Romero, Penguin, played by Burgess Meredith, and Catwoman, played by Julie Newmar, and Riddler, a minor villain in the comics made more dangerous by actor Frank Gorshin. The show sparked a new age of merchandising for Batman. Everything from puppets to Batman bread, all you had to do was slap a bat insignia on your product and it would sell. Instead of affecting a few hundred through comics, Batman is now affecting thousands through merchandising and the TV show. Sadly, all good things come to an end. The show's last episode was aired on March 14th, 1968. It has been in reruns ever since. Then, in 1986, a new miniseries was released, a series that would revolutionize comics forever. Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns. The book takes place in the future and tells the story of Batman's return from retirement to fight crime once again. It brings back the darker original Batman Bob Kane intended. The series racked up impressive sales and started to bring in a larger range of readers to the comics. The Dark Knight Returns propelled Batman into a state of international celebrity. 1999 marked the release of the phenomenal movie Batman, starring Michael Keaton as Batman, Tim Burton as the director, and Bob Kane as project collaborator. Bob Kane had to write a Bible, making sure that the writers of the movie didn't cross any of the lines he had previously set down in the comics. Batman was a hit. In sales, it beat Ghostbusters 2 and Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. The plot of the movie was basically a duel between Batman and Joker, played by Jack Nicholson.
Excuse me. Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? I'm gonna kill you.
You idiot! You made me. Remember? You dropped me into that vat of chemicals. That wasn't easy to get over. And don't think that I didn't try.
I know you did.
3 years later, the movie Batman Returns came out, starring villains Catwoman, played by Michelle Pfeiffer, and Penguin, played by Danny DeVito. These movies introduced a new look on Batman, much different than the 1966 Batman movie based on the TV show. 2 more Batman movies came out in the 90s, Batman Forever, starring Val Kilmer, and Batman and Robin, starring George Clooney. In both movies, Chris O'Donnell played Robin. These main 4 racked up impressive sales compared to the 4 Superman movies of the early to mid-80s. In the past, Batman has had his share of cartoons, but in September 1992, a new age of animation arrived for Batman and audiences around the world. Batman the Animated Series, the first popular show Batman has had since the 60s. Artist Bruce Timm introduced a new style that changed Batman and Gotham into a series that was more serious and would set the standard for Saturday morning cartoons. The show did so well and attracted such a wide audience that it won multiple Emmy Awards. The show also inspired multiple toys and over 31 action figures, and with the action figures from the movies, about 117 figures were on sale during the 1990s. The show Batman Beyond debuted in 1999, bringing Batman to a new futuristic level and marked the turn of the century for Batman. In 2004, Batman Begins came out, directed by Christopher Nolan, and starring Christian Bale as Batman, Katie Holmes as Rachel, Michael Caine as Alfred, Gary Oldman as Jim Gordon, and Morgan Freeman as Lucius Fox. The movie retold Batman's origin and pitted him against such classic villains as Ra's al Ghul and Scarecrow. In 2008, the actress of Batman Begins returned in The Dark Knight, which made over $997 million and sold about 140,820,995 tickets. The Dark Knight pitted Batman against a darker Joker, played by Heath Ledger, who in spite of his death won the Best Supporting Actor Award of the year.
Now there's a Batman. Oh, you want to play? Come on. Come on.
Bob Kane died of illness in 1998. However, in spite of this, Batman continues to affect people every day. Every person who buys Batman merchandise, comic books, or watches a Batman movie or TV show is affected. Batman has affected people for over 70 years and will continue to be a legacy and icon for centuries on.